Hello, my beautiful Cancers. Welcome to your mid-December energy reading. Please understand that this is for the collective, so only take those messages that resonate with you. And my intention is for you to gain clarity and guidance. So we have two cards that popped up. I'm going to use this as the situation, okay? So we have here the Page of Wands and the World. Very interesting energy. The world is completion, right? So there's a cycle that's being wrapped up. And in a way, with the Page of Wands showing up here, this cycle wrapping up, this finishing this chapter brings this level of enthusiasm and motivation in the present moment. So the Page of Wands is essentially this energy that wants to be present, that's excited, that's motivated. And this is about kind of tapping into having fun, right? Making space for that, making that a priority in your life. And this is also about kind of honoring your inner child, right? So really tapping in with your true desires. What do you want? What does that mean for you? Okay. Let's get into the block here. So for the block for you, Cancer, okay, so the Hermit. Very interesting, right? Page of Wands is asking you to be present in the moment, to express your energy, to be unapologetic about your desires, right? The Hermit as the block can symbolize that maybe some of you guys have been in this moment of isolation, right? Maybe you have been very introverted during this time. Maybe you have been very much, in your thoughts and kind of taking a pause from life. And Spirit is saying this chapter is over, but you have to allow it for it to be over, okay? In the past energy, wow, 8 of Cups in reverse, meaning that maybe the isolation came from because there is this energy that you needed to handle some unfinished business. So in the past, some of you guys have had to handle some unfinished business. The 8 of Cups in reverse can symbolize having to go back to an issue or an issue reappearing. Regardless, this is kind of like an emotional heavy energy, which could, add to the fact that you were essentially in isolation because you have had to handle something very difficult, Cancer. Let's get into the near future here. Near future energy for Cancer. We have the 10 of Wands, which is this energy of dropping a burden that has been heavy on your shoulders. This is where the final push pays out, okay? So in your reading, there's many things that are indicating that there is, again, a closing of a chapter. Something is coming to an end. Something is wrapping up. There is a new phase that's coming into your life. Now it's kind of like you have a clean slate. When you drop this burden, not many people will understand your reasoning because it shows here with the Hermit that you have been very private about this matter. So don't expect for people to understand. Maybe some people might even give you a hard time. Regardless, the 10 of Wands is where you have picked up such a high and stressful burden that you're ready to put it down. This burden does not belong to you. And it's very evident, right? And some of you guys are going to tap into this energy of the Page of Wands where you're going to follow your true desires. You're going to go after the things that you feel you deserve, right? And at times that can show people that maybe you're moving in a, let's say, immature way. But like I said, there's this energy of you being very private about your reasoning, which is actually a good thing because you're not giving people room to change your mind, right? You know that this is the end of the road for you. You have already revisited this issue in the past. So you've done the proper taking care of business, so to speak. And now it's time for you to finally move forward, right? With a lighter burden, with something that actually is worth of you keeping, okay? Outcome of the reading, you have here the Hierophant. And I like that the Hierophant shows up because that shows me new traditions, new structure, okay? So this is where some of you guys might go seek guidance in a way that maybe you're going to look for different options. Like for whatever reason, I just heard the word lease. So maybe this is a situation where you have had to talk to property management about your options. That's really interesting for some of you guys. Also, for some of you guys, this can indicate, higher level commitments like marriage, like a very much demanding job that you have been there for a long time. But this is about moving from your moral compass. So this is about restructuring the things that don't resonate with you anymore and creating new systems for you, right? And that's what's showing up here with the Hierophant. And this is high level wisdom. This is about you moving from a place of you being very clear with your intention, very clear with what it is that you want to receive and what it is that you want to manifest. Now, let's go ahead and get into this Hermit. I want to get a little bit more on the Hermit and see what exactly the block is with the Hermit. Please, Spirit of the highest good, can you give us a little bit of more clarification with this Hermit? Okay, so yeah, Seven of Pentacles. I like that the Seven of Pentacles showed up. The Hermit shows me this energy of introspection, and it continues to get reinforced with the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is essentially re-evaluating where you're at, right? So this is seeing your progress, what you have done so far, but you know that there's certain things that need pivoting. Do you know that there's certain things that you need to manage a little bit differently? And that is the energy that could potentially feel a little bit heavy for you, because it could feel that there is no way to make it better, but Spirit is saying that there is. And the way that there is to make it better is by wrapping up a cycle of continuing to trip over the same rock, right? So this is if someone's taking advantage of you and you notice that this person has been taking advantage of you time after time, this is where you put a stop to it. You know what I mean? If you notice that this job is not serving you, this is when you start to apply for new jobs. If you notice that this relationship doesn't make you feel fulfilled, then this is where you either A, have a conversation and see how you can work it out. But if that's a dead end, then you start to, consider being on your own path. And we have here the Fool. Yeah, this is the energy of the new beginnings, okay? The Fool is the reset. The Fool is also about taking action, about being action-driven, and about being detached to particular outcomes, right? This is where you just simply flow. And that is the same energy that I get with the Page of Wands, getting this enthusiasm about being in the state of flow, enjoying life for what it is, and not putting so much pressure on all of these expectations that anybody can feel in life, right? Final card for the blockage, you have here Queen of Cups, Cancer. This is your own energy. I resonate Cancer with the Queen of Cups, even though many resonate Cancer with the King of Cups. For me, you are the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is holding space for yourself, knowing how to process what emotionally you are going through, but also having the enough discernment and intuition to make the proper decisions, right? And to create a sanctuary for yourself. This is about, seeking guidance or counseling, right? This is about, again, if some of you guys don't have that luxury, holding space for yourself so you know that you can create a safe space for you, right? And this is kind of about, in a way, being slightly selfish and putting your emotions also as a priority versus everything else, right? So I love that the Queen of Cups shows up there, because this is the support that you need to give yourself in order to basically break out of this shell that the Hermit can keep us in. It's great to go into introspection, but we also need to take action when the action is necessary to take, correct? So that is what I'm seeing here with the reading. Regardless, this is a closing of the chapter. You're dropping a burden and creating a new structure for yourself that makes sense by following your moral compass. There is unfinished business that you have already resolved. So there is no need to be sucked up by that situation again. That's what I'm seeing with that, Cancer, okay? Now let's go ahead and get final messages for Cancer. What does Spirit want to share with Cancer as the final message? We have the Hanged One. So the Hanged One shows looking at things from a different perspective, which I think is very much necessary with the whole wrapping up a cycle. Also, this is about knowing in your heart and your intuition that you see the bigger picture. And if you're not clear on how to move forward, it just means that you need to do more of the looking at the bigger picture. What are your options, right? I see here with the Hermit that is the main blockage here, is knowing how to move forward, even though life is pushing you to move forward. So looking at things from a different perspective, allowing yourself to be more open-minded about the situation. That is the energy of the Hanged One. Also, there's this energy of being self-sacrificing. So I feel like even though the message is showing up here with the Hanged One as take a moment of pause, the moment of pause has been taken. I just feel like you have been self-sacrificing yourself in a way that you stretch yourself too thin, or you're always there providing support for others. And this is where, again, you have to look at it from a different perspective in order to be able to drop the burdens and the blockages that are stopping you from completing this cycle, okay? And we have here the Seven of Cups. This is the possibility card. Yes, it could show confusion, right? We have two cards here that can feel slightly confusing with the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. But the good thing about it is that you are thinking about the options that you have, doing things in a different way. And Spirit really wants you to harness that instead of looking at it as I'm confused. Look at it as, well, at least I know that there's options out there for me, even if I don't know exactly which one I need to pick. Okay. So regardless, when I see the Fool just got my attention again. When I see the Fool tells me that you need to detach yourself from the desired outcome, and you have to just simply be in the state of flow. Okay. We have here the Four of Wands, which is celebratory energy. It shows that you will accomplish a milestone. And this is a very positive energy because it shows that you will be celebrating in community. So you will get the, I guess you could say, like, recognition or pat in the back that maybe some of you guys feel you need in order to feel fulfilled in a situation. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We don't want to go about life without getting the support of our community. And it says here that you will get it, even though in the process, people might not understand your vision, right? And then we have here the Lovers, which ultimately represents that, you know, these moves, the whatever is showing up for you here, right? The completing of the cycle, it is ultimately up to you making these choices. You have the power of free will, which means that you can continue to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you if you don't put a stop to it. Okay. So ultimately, it is up to you. That's what the Lovers is saying. Okay. So with that being said, my loves, this is the reading that I have for you, Cancer. Please let me know if this reading resonated with you in any kind of way. Like and subscribe to my new channel if you want to support my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay. Bye.